What's up, everybody? Aaron the Dog here with Brandon of MMA Wagers, and we are here for another breakdown. This time we're here with probably the weakest of the three, maybe of the weekend, who knows, but it is still a UFC breakdown, UFC Vegas 26 or Fight Night. Rodriguez versus Waterson. That's the new main event, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think both ladies can definitely go 5 rounds. Waterson has before, and Rodriguez, I've been a huge fan of hers for quite a while, so I'm actually okay with her getting a little bit of spotlight coming off the biggest win of her career against Amanda Hebus. So, who's also on this card.
Great matchmaking.
Yeah. So definitely glad to be here. Thank you all for joining us. Adam Jafar, what up, man? Glad you can be here. Let's make some money.
Boy. I haven't seen him comment once, but that's our boy.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I mean, if you're joining us live, if you're joining us afterwards, the information's all here. We are gonna
try to get 10 minutes of fight here.
Yeah, we are. Okay, nice. And we got Steven of MMA Stooges. Yeah, well, Steven's of MMA Stooges. He's on the Stooges. So he's drugged out, and that's good. Enjoy. Sit back. We got
I'm drugged out too, so it's all good.
We got an intro. Yeah, we're all on different drugs.
Have you ever heard the song "Theory of a Dead Man"? RX Medicate.
I have not, but I'll check it out right after this.
But it's a great song. I'm just throwing it out there.
And by the way, I'm just going to say this over the air. You're keeping track of timestamps today, so
I can't. I always gap. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's the UFC videos don't get any views anyways.
That's good to say on video. All right. Well, we're hopping we're hopping in at 170. Sometimes your honesty on camera is really too much.
I gotta be brutally honest here. We get no views on UFC because everybody else does a UFC breakdown, but we are trying to strive for the most views possible. If we keep doing this every week, then yeah, eventually we will be in that middle ground with everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, and regardless, sorry,
be brutally honest.
Starting tuning in for
our PFL breakdown did really well.
All right, Brandon, you shut up for like 2 seconds. Holy fuck! All right, Adam's got a comment. Started to tune in with the Rory fight. Love the podcast. That was a good one to tune in for. Yeah, we did pretty good, 8 for 8 that week. So good one to start with. Did you guys end up watching the weigh-ins? Is Verdum a safe bet? So we'll talk very quickly about the PFL for tonight. I do not think Verdum is a safe bet at all. I think that the only bet you need to make on Verdum is if you have the prop to do a submission. Go ahead and do that. And I do think that Renan Ferreira, 6'8" to 6'10", depending on the site you look at, huge reach advantage, much less mileage. Training at Team Nogueira. And Brandon let me know he played Verdum in a movie. So definitely has been studying Verdum for a long time. I'm not saying you play him in a movie, you know his movements, you're going to do well. But I just think that Renan is a very live dog. Personally, I think the Ferreira parlay, if you're getting cute with it, that double parlay with Diego, I like that as a real shot before we get more into this. But we're going to start
I can give my 2 cents quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just I saw Verdum weigh in backstage. There's a video on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. PFL locked in. He looked very like Aaron said the other day, Verdum has not looked the greatest at weigh-ins, and he looked very sunken and just very not physically ready to fight, in my opinion. So, and I think that's a reason why he put his shirt on at the official weigh-ins.
Yep.
Renan Ferreira looks like a Brazilian Greek god. Like, he's insane, man. And I agree with that Brett Martin. I watched it the other night. That shouldn't have been a friggin' back of the head.
He stopped him 3 or 4 different times. Martin was literally putting the back of his head at risk so he could get out of there. So really,
exactly so I'm just saying, don't parlay Verdum. I didn't parlay him at all. I'm very tempted on the under 1.5 at -155.
Yeah, no, I really just like Verdum by submission or Hennon straight up as the dog. So yeah, but
Yeah,
dude, Adam,
your girlfriend's commenting
my
here.
girl, Adam, good to see you,
How long
man.
have you guys been together again?
It's only been 2 months since we've even known each other, so
Oh,
thanks for
okay.
asking on air.
Oh,
But yeah, no, Adam, you're totally fine. Part of this podcast is we like to have fun. We're
I
gonna try.
love the comments, guys. Keep bringing them in.
Yeah, definitely same stuff about Gustafson. What up, girl? How you doing? And yeah, Stooges.
2 months into your relationship.
I'll just leave this up for a minute. I'll just leave this one up for a minute. But this is like a
let them know.
Yeah, go ahead. And I meant this might
bit.
just be the banner for the rest of the podcast because we're gonna leave this up for at least a 170 here. But just gonna keep leaving
this
it up.
This first fight is a banger. I love this first fight.
This is an incredible fight. Honestly, Christian Aguilera, the beast, 14-7. I get it, salty record, but every one of his fights, he's going in there and honestly really gives it his all. If you bet on him, you're gonna be sweating in this one, in my opinion, against Carlston Harris, the newcomer. I don't know how to say his nickname. He's out of Guyana. It's Mokambike, I believe. But one thing that's interesting.
It's a Guyana name.
One thing that's interesting here, he's 33, so definitely a little bit older than we're used to seeing for a lot of guys making their debuts. But unfortunately, and now retired, Jimmy Flick made his debut at past the age of 30, and that was at the 125 division. This is at 170, coming off a 17-1 Darce choke finish of Saiged Ismagayev, who is fighting at the end of the month as well, but definitely seems to be a legit guy. He lost his Brave FC CF title to Jared Hussein Al-Sawali, who, if you kind of follow that organization, you'll be pretty familiar with him. He's fought and beaten a lot of good people. I'm having some fun, Stooges. Good shit. We all agree. We're all just having a little fun busting some balls here with the advertisements. But yeah, has a win over Carl Booth. Honestly, has looked really good from the tape I've been able to see. I think this is going to be a banger. Christian Aguilera is going to come forward. Definitely has some holes, particularly in the wrestling game. And that was definitely shown in the last fight, but that was Sean Brady. So, overall, I do like the newcomer here. I'm really excited. I think that the minus 165 price is very, very nice. And I think that after this fight, maybe we're a little surprised at that price. But I like Carlston here. I like him to use a little bit of an overall MMA game plan, stretch into second and third round. And I mean, Aguilera really is finish or be finished type of guy a lot of times. So I'm going to take him to get put away here by Carlston.
Yeah, Christian Aguilera is a perfect example of to wait to see how these athletes look in the UFC before putting your money on them, because he debuted against Anthony Ivy, and Anthony Ivy was also a UFC debutant. And
undefeated, I believe, right? Wasn't
Pardon?
Wasn't Ivy undefeated coming into the UFC, or maybe one loss? Either way,
8-2. He was 8-2.
Okay.
There was a lot of hype on him. I think Aguilera was the underdog in that.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, plus 160. So he's a perfect example of just waiting to see how these guys perform in the UFC, because I was spot on with Sean Brady. That was a huge step up in competition. I got Sean Brady by submission in that fight. And on the counter side, I had Anthony Ivy. I faded him very hard against Brian Barberina. So that was a perfect example of just waiting for fighters to debut in the UFC to get a good grasp on how they fight, how they look, how they compete. Learning the X factors. Absolutely. And that goes for a lot of the PFL fights tonight. We don't know how a lot of these lightweights are going to do. I know I'm going off track a little bit, but
no, it's fine. Normally we'd be able to go more off track. But full disclosure, we're have a hard out of 5 o'clock. So maybe just wrap up your final thoughts on Christian Aguilera and Carlston Harris. I think
Harris. I recommend everybody to look up his highlight video. Dana White was actually in the crowd at a UAE Warriors while they were in Abu Dhabi Fight Island. He was so impressed that he signed Mr. Carlston Harris. He's a Darce choke master. He is a little older, but this is 170. Christian Aguilera is a perfect opponent to get his feet wet in the UFC. I'm not confident at all because Carlston Harris is still an unknown fighter. We don't know how he's going to react.
He's been put away by strikes multiple times.
Pardon?
He's been put away by strikes multiple times too, which Aguilera definitely has power to put away anybody.
That's what I mean. Like this is, I love to fade the first fights of any UFC. Like even last week, I had Luke Sanders. I honestly thought he won 29-28, but anybody else can tell me different. The first fights of any UFC is a coin flip. Flip a coin, guys.
Pass. So you're saying pass on this one then? Dogger pass.
Yeah, probably dogger pass. But I do like Harris based off the highlight video I saw of him and Dana White saying like you're fucking good, buddy. Like you're in the UFC.
There's something
and he
about
did the same thing with Munar Lauzes.
Yeah, there's something about a guy who has a few losses before coming into the organization. 33 years old. I just, I do think that is not too old, but that's old enough to realize, kind of develop that IQ, develop your overall identity as a fighter. I really like him here. And
there's a reason this is the first fight of the night.
And there's a lot of tape on how to beat Aguilera at this point, and it's available.
Well, Harris, all you have to do is defend a Darce choke and you're probably fine.
Well, I mean, he's coming off that Darce choke, but he also has a couple KOs. I'm interested. I just think Carlston, if he comes out here and looks as well as I'm anticipating,
it's a hard fight to predict.
Yeah, but we're gonna move on now. Next fight here.
Did we get the 10-minute mark? Oh, we're 2 minutes and 21 seconds over.
It's all good. It's all. We'll make adjustments as we go. Tefon Nchukwu taking on Young Park. Two of the best fights of the night are two of the first fights of the night here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is a hell of a matchup here. Tefon Nchukwu getting no favors at 5-0 and 26 years old. That just kind of blows my mind. He looks like he's 36 at least. And fighting out of the Cameroon. Africa is on the rise right now. 6 foot tall, 77-inch reach. Versus the 5'10", 73-inch reach of Jun Young Park. I think that is a huge aspect of this fight. But I'll start with Jun Young Park, the Iron Turtle. Gets that nickname. He's never been put away by strikes. He was submitted in his debut.
He's a tough Korean.
Yep, South Korean. He was submitted in his debut by Anthony Hernandez with about 20 seconds left in the second round, and that Anthony Hernandez loss doesn't look that bad, especially coming
2020.
Off. Yeah, I mean, Vieira.
He just submitted the best submission artist in the UFC, arguably, and Rodolfo Vieira. So
with a
don't hold that in high regard.
But Jun Young Park came back and got. It's interesting because Jun Young Park's lost Anthony Hernandez has aged well. His win against Marc-Andre Barriault looks good again after it kind of looked shaky there for a while. Before Barriault got in the win column, but Barriault is looking much more confident, and he handled him.
He had a blood test, Marc-Andre Barriault, and now he's looked stellar since.
Yeah,
so
and had a 30-27, and then the John Phillips, Jun Young Park just was like, let me watch what Kazmat did. Okay, let me just do that.
Guess how many significant strikes he landed in that fight?
I mean, wasn't it like 260?
Significant, I mean.
Jun Young Park?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 260 significant strikes or something?
10 significant strikes, 260 regular strikes.
10 of
them?
How
messed up is that?
Wait, only 10 of the 260 strikes were considered significant?
How messed up is that?
Okay, because I was on I had him on DraftKings. So we're doing a great job of staying on track here, but I had him on DraftKings, and Jun Young Park caused DraftKings to change their rule on how they judge strikes because he paid out.
Was he the reason?
He is the reason.
Wow.
Yeah, because all of
10
those
significant strikes compared to 260 regular strikes.
Yeah, that's so.
That's
but Jun Young Park, definitely very, very intelligent fighter. He does have some good power as well. Has some finishes prior to UFC. Has an anaconda choke finish of Ray Cooper back in 2017 at welterweight.
A quick FF for you guys.
Yeah, at welterweight. So what we have here is Jun Young Park, who is former welterweight. Former, coming up 5'10", has a 5-inch reach disadvantage, taking on the truck that is Tefan Nchukwu. I am all aboard the Nchukwu hype train, baby. And until I have a reason to get off it, I am not getting off it. We have Nchukwu at -140. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Bet him in all of your parlays. I think he absolutely starches Jun Young Park and puts him away for Jun Young Park's first finish by strikes. Even if he doesn't, I believe he has strong enough hips. He has a judo background. He has a wrestling background. I do not believe Jun Young Park is able to do what he did to John Phillips. Tefan Nchukwu all day here for me. And this price is crazy. Am I getting trapped? Because this price has value all over it, -140.
Well, I would never go heavy on somebody who's only 5-0 professionally in the UFC. Jun Young Park actually has more UFC fights as well. I know it's a huge step up in competition. John Phillips shouldn't have even been in the UFC. And Jun Young Park made that the most boring fight possible with the most pitter-patter shots. And apparently, he's the reason DraftKings changed the whole scoring out.
My boy Adam might be replacing you as co-host if he keeps up with these comments.
Liking those odds. I know the odds are really nice, but
is it a trap? Am I going to be crying on Saturday that I bet a -140 at 5-0 the house on him? Am I going to be crying on Saturday?
If you bet the house on him, you're like the people that buy Jessica I's OnlyFans.
How dare you?
Do not bet the house on somebody that's only 5-0. I'm telling you, conditioning might be an issue.
As a kickboxer as well.
Just because he beat Jamie Pickett and Almatova does not mean he's a lock. I'm sorry, guys.
William Knight as well.
Pardon?
William Knight as well. Put away.
Yeah, that was a quick stoppage. If you guys watch that fight, William Knight should not have been stopped. But either way, Tefan would have beat him. I don't know. I know. I'm just trying to make an argument for Jun Young Park. He's got more UFC experience. He's got more experience overall. He's never lost by a knockout.
Okay.
He has lost by 2 decisions, 1 split. He's good at control. He got 13 minutes of control time his last fight.
We're not paying -3. I get it, but this is John Phillips. I believe that Tefan Nchukwu could have done the Jun Young Park. I believe that almost the entire middleweight roster could have done what Jun Young Park did to John.
I totally agree. And Jun Young Park is coming in here in the United States. Might be his first time ever competing in the United States.
Yeah, we didn't check that, but it's a good point too.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just listen to bet the house on the house.
Don't. It's MMA, guys. You never know. Jun Young Park. Imagine if Tefan.
I don't agree. I do not agree with the second comment here. I definitely don't agree that it's a 30-second KO. Bet it. I'm not saying that. So,
if it's like the William Knight, then it could be because it's controversial.
I would love to bet the house and be out of there in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go Tefan because he really surprised me against Jamie Pickett. He lasted all 3 rounds and looked very solid for the full 15 minutes.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, even if he doesn't get the knockout, I think he can pull out a split decision, but I do not like I just don't like betting this kind of fight.
Minus 140. I'm betting it. I'm putting in a lot of parlays, not all of my parlays, but I'm putting in a lot of parlays. I'm betting it separate.
That was gonna go eventually. Not everybody's Habib. So
yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I'm gonna take it. By the way, Carlston Harris minus 150 over Aguilar, who's now a plus 140, plus 125. Sorry, and that's keeps shifting towards Aguilera. So if you're betting Harris, keep waiting because you don't need to beat any rush there. And then Jun Young Park is a plus 110 versus the minus 140 Tefan and Chukwe. Crazy.
well, look at that's it. It's on a big sample size. I know Tefan does have a 13-1 Muay Thai record as well. I don't think a lot of people know that. They said that over the broadcast during his contender series. So he is very good stand-up, but we just saw Jun Young Park control somebody for 13 minutes. I know it was bottom of the barrel competition, but it's just it's so many question marks, man. And we have PFL, Bellator, and UFC. So just pick your spots wisely.
Speaking of picking your spots wisely, you know what won't be going on my ticket? A Ryan Benoit and Zakharov Adashev fight. I want nothing to do with this on my ticket. So
125 pounds, it's just a coin flip on 125 pounds.
Yeah, and especially these guys. My last 6 picks for Ryan Benoit, I'm 1-5. I only picked Tim Elliott to beat him.
I'm 2-1 at the moment.
I'm 1-5. When I pick him to win, he loses. When I pick him to lose, he wins.
Zoraku Adashev, I'm 2-0.
Well, I think most people are. I mean,
if you faded him,
who picks Zaruk Adashev over Suman Dajari? Not one
probably
person.
Like 3%.
not. I bet not 3%. Even. It was considering.
I looked up Marina Moraes and Kayla Harrison. Guess how many people picked Marina Moraes?
1%.
You got it.
1%. So Zachar, I'm going to make this one pretty quick because this is one I'm going to just sit back and kind of watch. I think it's going to be mostly kind of a kickboxer versus a kickboxer who forgets that he should wrestle in Ryan Benoit. I think that Adashev has the stand-up advantage from a technical perspective. He did have his moments against Submanjari, especially in the 3rd round, and that was just a tough fight where he had like a 9-inch reach disadvantage. And then he came in on like 4 days' notice to fight Tyson Nam at 3-1. So
rolled off the couch.
Yeah, so like at 3-1. So I mean, this is going to be the first time we see a real, I feel, Zaruk Adashev. And if you're gonna beat someone in the in the UFC at this point, I think Ryan Benoit is a good candidate. Frankly, 10-7 overall. Yes, he did beat Sergio Pettis. Sorry, that's the only thing he's ever done.
Yo, Boston loves Sergio Pettis. I noticed in the comments. Bunny said,
she's a big. Yeah, she's a big Pettis fan. Tomorrow we'll see how tomorrow goes.
Tonight. Oh, sorry, tomorrow night. Sorry,
tomorrow
he's not in PFL. I'm thinking Anthony.
Did I sleep through the PFL? I wouldn't be surprised. Ryan Benoit, salty. Split decision over a 40-year-old
babyface Benoit.
Yeah, lost to any good featherweight or flyweight he's faced other than Pettis. Beat Trash Can Motarian as his last win.
And he weighed in heavy for that fight.
Yeah, if I was betting this, I'm going with the dog, Zaruk Adashev. I think that from a technical perspective, he's the better stand-up fighter. He's fought at he's gonna be. I think he has the better. No, he has a slightly shorter reach, but it's just like at this point, I just can't buy Benoit, the former high school wrestler from Texas who never wrestles, never knows how to wrestle. Just he's very inconsistent. Adashev knows if he loses this here, that's a wrap on the UFC, maybe forever. And yeah, I'll take the dog here. Very unconfident decision.
Yeah, this is a really close fight. Ryan Benoit might be getting his walking papers.
Losers going home. Losers getting fired.
Yeah, both of them actually, because the Rook is 0-2 to start his UFC 10 year.
He'd have a worse record than Shayna Dobson if he loses.
Ryan Benoit, yeah, he'll be 3-6.
No,
So
I'm saying Adeshev would have a worse record than Shayna Dobson at 3-4. Shayna Dobson, I believe, is 4-5 or 5-6, maybe.
well, oh, you're saying overall, not
Yeah.
UFC.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, 3-3. That's so bad, man. Like Ryan Benoit has more UFC fights than Zaruk professionally. So he's been in there with the best of the best. That Tim Elliott fight really could have went either way. I don't understand how that should have been a split in my opinion. I bet Tim Elliott, but I was really nervous. Like
Mm-hmm.
I thought it should have been a split.
This is my point. Watch Ryan Benoit come out and have the greatest performance of his life. Frankly, you should pick him. Now I'm on video saying Ryan Benoit's going to lose. I would pick Ryan Benoit inside the distance. Bet it, people. I'm not betting it.
He knocked out Freddie Serrano was a bullshit split. You should have watched that fight. Freddie he didn't want anything to do with Ryan
Freddie
Benoit.
Serrano
Freddie
was
was
one of the worst fighters ever to be in the UFC.
Yeah, he was so scared. He wouldn't even engage with Ryan because he knows Ryan is a legit striker with power. He's got the third most knockdowns landed in UFC flyweight division, 4 knockdowns, third most knockdowns averaged per 15 minutes. He's got the third best significant striking defense. He's got the second best takedown defense. I don't think Zaruk's going to be going for takedowns, but he's got the third most knockout TKO wins. I know it's a small sample size because we're in men's flyweight, but 12 years experience compared to 6 years. Ryan Benoit's going to get back on track here, in my opinion.
Okay, that makes sense. Like I'm not
extremely confident, but at the same time, I wanted to pick Zaruk because he did have a good outing against Su Mutajari. I put a lot of money on Su Mutajari, and he also made me really nervous going to the scorecards because he was in that fight 100%, and
like
Su did the minimal.
Like finally, and he's finally fighting someone his size, like in terms of like structure. I mean, Su Mutajari had a 73-inch reach. His the reach for Benoit is 68.5, and he throws hooks.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Zaruk's a lot more skilled than we know, but I think just the experience difference and I don't know. It's a very tough fight to pick, my man.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not putting $1 on this fight. I'm gonna watch it, and I'm probably gonna be wrong about another Ryan Benoit fight. I'll go to one.
What's Ryan Benoit's odds?
He is the favorite at -150. I see him at -125 a few spots. If you can get him close to even, fine, because it's an even fight. I might bet the draw. Okay?
Really?
Ryan Benoit could do some dumb shit and like knee him on the ground to get a point taken away. He has very questionable impulse control. And just like he could be winning this fight and then do something in the second round to get a point taken. And then Adeshev has another really solid third round, and it's a draw. That's at this point, -150.
Just skip this fight altogether.
Adeshev +120. We have 3 events here, and it's just like it's okay to be selective a little bit.
Take the over, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. I just don't feel.
Next has lost by a knockout before, but that was when he came off the couch to Tyson Nam.
Yeah, next fight here, I think should be actually a very interesting fight.
Oh, buddy, I like this fight.
And another fight, which I'm not sure how much I want to invest, particularly in the favorite, Ludwig Klein, Mr. Highlight, taking on Mike Trizano, the Lone Wolf, and Ultimate Fighter winner. I feel like he's like the least recognized Ultimate Fighter winner, just because like I don't know what it is. I just feel like people don't want to accept Mike Trizano won the Ultimate Fighter.
Well, it was a split decision win, so
over Joe Giannetti, which has not aged well. Yikes. But he did then go on to beat Luis Pena, who was the uncrowned champ of that season of Tough, but he got injured. So, like, I feel like Trizano earned his, but Ludwig Klein, 26 years old, 5'7", 72-inch reach, coming off that highlight reel 1-minute finish of Shane Young, where he missed weight by 5 pounds. You'll see on Ludwig's record a lot of round 1 finishes, head kick finishes. He's definitely got a legit power, but losses coming to guys like Aiden Lee, coming to Igor Tarztaya. Don't really know who that is. Yeah, I mean, and I don't really recognize too many of his wins either. Lucas Sajewski, former UFC flameout. I believe he went 0-3 in the UFC. He finished him. But yeah, looked really good against Shane Young, who didn't Shane Young just get starched again?
He lost a 29-28 decision.
Okay, to Brett. Who's he
facing? The name's Omar Morales.
Omar Morales, yeah. But yeah, so he definitely came back, and I mean, Omar Morales is another hard kicker who throws power, and so I mean, to put away Shane Young like that, I'm not poo-pooing, but it was in a minute. We don't really know about Ludwig Klein yet, and at least not at the UFC level. And the lone wolf, Mike Trizano, I think is the type of guy. Tiger Schulman, a camp that's not talked about enough, in my opinion. He's been off since May of 2019. When he had the loss to Grant Dawson, he got submitted in the middle of the second round. No shame there. And then he's got 2 split wins in his UFC tenure. But I do think that Mike Trizano needs to look to really slow this fight down, make it really ugly and grindy, and try to get his 3rd split decision win in 4 fights, if I'm being honest. I do think Ludwig Klein should be able to take this one. He has experience going 5 rounds outside of the UFC and getting the finish later on. So I do think the gas should be there. He's been off for a year, so I am anticipating he's been improving his game at 26 years old. I want to see the weigh-ins. I want to see how he looks making the 146 mark, because that's 4 pounds less than he made for his debut. So maybe he comes in and looks much sharper. Who really knows here, but a minus 250 is the favorite for Klein, just so you know. But I'm going to take Klein, but it's tough here because I'm leaning towards a decision, and we don't really know how Klein looks. If he gets to finish, great, but it's a tough call here for me, honestly, because I think Trizano makes a lot of fights close against guys who are at his level or a little above his level. So, we might be looking at a split.
Yeah, I've already parlayed Klein in a few things from last week, because this UFC card is very hard to find very confident parlay pieces. So I thought Klein was a good one at minus 250, because obviously you're not going to bet that straight.
Yeah, so only parlayable.
He's looked lackluster in the UFC so far, winning 2 split decisions, losing to Grant Dawson by a submission in round 2, but Grant Dawson's pretty fucking legit. Levoit Klein is a lot more experienced, actually, even though Mike Trizano's a Ultimate Fighter winner. Levoit Klein has 19 professional fights. This will be his 20th professional fight. He's got a whole country behind him in Slovakia. He's got a nasty head kick. He's got submissions too. He's an all-around guy. He's very well-rounded. He has 8 knockouts, 8 submissions, 3 guillotines, 2 rear naked chokes, 2 arm bars, and a triangle. He's only lost by that 1 knockout and 1 submission. Let me double check who that was by. I think it was when he was greening Aiden Lee, who's a very formidable Cage Warriors opponent, and that was 4 years ago. And he also lost to Igor. I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name, but good Russian, but that was early in his career. I think Mike Trizano, with this time off, not being in the bubble, not being in there without fans, might play a factor. Levoit Klein making his USA debut. I think he's got more to lose. Mike Trizano was also supposed to fight Rafael Alves, but Rafael the Turn Alves missed weight by a record-setting 12 pounds. So, but I'm pretty sure Mike Trizano he had an ankle injury, and that was only 3 months ago. So he's coming off an ankle injury. Mike Trizano does have submission deficiencies. I think he can get submitted here or ultimately knocked out. I know LeBoy Klein is not trustworthy over 15 minutes, but the way he's looked, it just looks like he's a finisher. Um, he could definitely steal 2 rounds or make one round 10-8 to at least get a draw. I got LeBoy Klein already in parlays, but I'm a little worrisome now after doing further research
Yeah.
because that's come from a good camp. Tiger Schulman, he's training with Shane Burgos, who I think is fighting next week, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I'm not going to go all in on LeVoy Klein. I got my parlays in already.
Yeah.
And other than that, I might take a stab at Mike Trezano, throw him in a couple parlays.
I think with Mike Trezano, we might as well just wait until live betting him at this point, because he could easily lose that. He could easily lose that first round, but you start to see a little bit of a decrease. You start to see hands on the hips. You start to see things that a guy who's really used to getting first round finishes.
Well, Klein does have 5 round 2 finishes, 29%.
Yeah, I just think
I don't think it's.
I think there's 2 or 3 spots here that could possibly be live betting. But again, I like Klein as well.
Yeah,
I think you can include him in a few parlays. I just don't think he's a top tier parlay builder at minus 250.
Just those split decisions could have won either way. And imagine Mike Trezano could easily be 0-3 right now in the UFC.
Yeah, definitely. But very close.
And that Shane Burgos fight really opened my or sorry, not Shane Burgos. What's his name? Shane Young.
Yeah,
that fight really opened my eyes.
But it was only when
he came in short notice as well.
It was only 1 minute. He missed weight by 5 pounds. So again,
he came in short notice.
But there's just some.
You should see how fast he. Look at the highlight.
Okay, here and then we gotta move on. But like, here's the thing: is that sometimes short notice is a huge advantage for guys. They don't have to do as much thinking. Yep. There's not as much of a risk. There's a fallback of if I lose, it was short notice or blah blah blah. Like, again, this is a year in the making. The next fight for him. He's had plenty of time, and now he's coming in as a massive favorite. It's a different position to be in. He's coming in as a massive favorite against a guy who has more UFC appearances than him.
He's dangerous.
He's coming in against a guy who has 45 minutes in the octagon versus 1 minute and 16 seconds.
That's a good point.
These are things that are just very, very, in like.
And that's why I'm not parlaying him with anything.
No, there's just not easy money on this card. So these minus 250s on a card like this, it's hard to kind of deal with. Next fight here is
the MMA Stooges big fans of Grant Dawson or something?
Yeah, they're Glory MMA guys. So anybody on Glory MMA is the
Grant's
greatest
my guy, man. I love that guy. He actually has a girlfriend that fights in MMA too.
Yeah, they talk to her as well. So we're gonna move on to the 185 division. We got another MMA Stooges guy and Kyle Dawkins taking on Phil Hawes. So Kyle Dawkins is coming in at 10-1 now. It's interesting because his brother came in, and I thought his brother was going to be the worst of them, and Kyle was going to be the stronger. But so far, it seems like Chris has kind of taken the steps up in his development. Although Kyle coming off the win over Dustin Stoltzfus, who anybody who's been following me in my breakdowns knows that I'm a huge fan of Dustin Stoltzfus, even though he beat my guy Joel Pfeiffer to get into the UFC by breaking his arm. Kyle did lose his debut on short notice to Brendan Allen, but definitely showed a fantastic account of himself. Looked really tough, made it tough for him. Every time he was taking down Brendan Allen, or every time Brendan Allen took him down, made it really tough on him, threw a lot of elbows, active groundwork on the bottom. And so, we go over to Phil Hawes, who is now 10-2. The oldest prospect now at 32 years old, fighting at Hard Knocks 365, coming off a majority win against Imavov, which I bet Imavov first and foremost. I want to admit that, but in my opinion, Imavov won that fight, and Hawes did show he could go to a decision and win a decision, but I don't think he won it. It was a majority decision at that. I do think Kyle Dawkins has to be very careful in round number 1. that is when everybody has to be careful against Phil Hawes. Phil Hawes can put away anybody. He put away Jacob Malkoun in 18 seconds, and we saw how Malkoun looked following that. So that was impressive. But, yeah, I think that this is another one that I'm looking to live bet, particularly Kyle Daukaus is a favorite. I'm not crazy about betting Kyle Daukaus as a favorite against a guy who in the first round has the advantage to finish it in Phil Hawes. I do think Phil Hawes can win the first round and easily lose the second 2 rounds. And particularly if Phil Hawes has to go to his wrestling and does take down Daukaus, I think Daukaus makes it hell from the bottom. I think he rains down elbows, starts to really move for submissions, possible sweeps. I think the ground game is all Daukaus. I'll take Daukaus here. It's another situation I like to live bet myself personally because I think we can possibly get Daukaus at plus money, but Daukaus by decision for me.
Yeah, I really thought Kyle would be the underdog here. I was hoping for underdog money. Phil Hawes, I'm trying to make an argument for because he is the underdog. But in my opinion, that fight should have been a draw, if anything, against Nasruddin Amavov. I also bet the underdog in Nasruddin, the Frenchman, and he showed a good account of himself. Phil Hawes really gassed. He's a good wrestler, but Kyle Daukaus is nonstop pressure. He reminds me of Merab Davishvili with his strikes. Not quite the takedown.
I mean, can I just stop you for a second? Like, if a fighter heard you being like, he's like Merab Davishvili, but his strikes, it's like, oh. Like, that fighter's got to be super bummed out by the end of that sentence there.
Well, Merab lands over 200 plus strikes. So
I know, but it's not, his striking is not exact. I'd rather have
I just mean like he's nonstop striking. Like
our unofficial co-host shows up, Mr. Weeks.
Even in weird spots, Kyle's going to be striking you.
Say
even
hi
in
to
spots
Kevin.
Where you don't.
Say hi to
what
Kevin.
Up, Kevin?
And now Kevin, say hi to Boston.
Thanks for supporting, man.
Absolutely.
Kyle Daukaus is a legit competitor. He has his brother Chris Daukaus in the heavyweight division making waves right now. Chris Daukaus could easily be a title contender fight in the near future. Kyle is very underrated. That fight with Brendan Allen, I also thought could have went either way. Brendan Allen really turned it up in round 3, so Kyle Daukaus, that was kind of a learning lesson. Are you able to go to Kyle Daukaus's his record there?
Yeah. So Kyle Daukaus, he's 10-1.
I think he's faced the better competition, in my opinion.
Yeah, so here's one thing I just want to point out is that he's gotten very good wins over Michael Lombardo, over Jonathan Webb, very good guys. The thing that we don't always look at, amateur experience here. He's been put away by knockout in his amateur career, but most of his losses in his amateur career were by submission. And after the reason I want to point that out is that he's become the submission guy in his pro career. So I think that really tells you something about Kyle Daukaus and his ability to handle adversity, handle failure, and come back and improve as a result of it. I think he showed improvements from the Brendan Allen fight and the Dustin Stolfus fight. And I think he's going to further show those progressions in that composure. And I think composure and cardio are what is going to kill Hawes, and that is what Kyle Daukaus has here. So we're both on Kyle Daukaus.
He took his lumps and bruises in the amateur career.
That's when you want to do
it. Most fighters take those in their professional career, and Kyle Daukaus got that out of the way early. He knows how to battle through adversity. He showed me a lot in that Brendan Allen fight. And, over 15 minutes, I'm going to take Kyle Daukaus winning this by split decision. Even though it should be a unanimous, I think the judges are going to give it a split. It reminds me of Ion Cutelaba versus Dustin Jacoby last week. It might be a very dominant first round for Phil Hawes, but Kyle Daukaus is gonna really shine in that round 2 and 3 and 29-28 in my opinion.
And I might be sprinkling on about 2 or 3 of these fights the draw prop as well. I do feel this is the kind of card.
Yeah, there hasn't been draws in a while, so they're bound to happen.
There was a draw last week. I'm trying to think of which.
No, it was a disqualification.
There was a draw in one of the Well, no, Jacoby and Jan Kutalaba.
Oh shit! Sorry, yeah,
like literally.
Yeah, there was a 10-8 in that first round.
And when I was at the Jacksonville card, there should have been a draw as well in the Sekulic Dwight Grant fight, which I bet the draw in.
Sekulic fucking won that. I don't care what anybody.
I thought it was a draw personally. I thought that's what a draw is. If not, Sekulic won. Definitely not Grant. Next fight, but by the way, the odds really quickly -4. Hold on, I'm looking. Minus
140, I think.
Minus 125 to minus 130 for Dawkins, plus 100 to plus 105 for Haas. In my opinion, if you're looking for max of volume, then you definitely have to, or max value, definitely wait to live bet Dawkins till he maybe dips.
Dawkins by submission might be worth a stab.
Yeah, or Dawkins after the first round if he loses the first round.
Live bet.
Yeah, it could be. Next fight here is one that we don't need to spend a lot of time on. These are two guys who must just be finishing out their UFC contracts. Ben Rothwell, post-juice, I'm not interested, to be honest. Taking on Felipe Lins Monstro, 14-5, has looked absolutely not impressive in his UFC career. Lost a decision against Andrei Arlovsky where he did nothing. He just decided to do nothing. And Arlovsky just took it. And then he got starched by Tanner Boser in round 1. Yikes. Yikes.
The decisionator, Tanner Boser.
Yeah, not to mention as a 205 fighter, he was put away by Kelly Anunson, which was a knee injury in all fairness, but still. He was knocked out by Kiber Silva at 205 and knocked out by Vadim Nemkov at 205. Again, Nemkov is champion now. No shame in that. But do you want to know how he won the PFL title? He beat Alex Nicholson, a former 185er. Some guy named Kyle Alankar, don't know who that is. Jared Rochalt, who was dusty as dust by the time he got to PFL. And Josh Copeland, who, again.
Cuddly Bear.
Yeah, the Cuddly Bear, who I think liked to hit women a little bit too much. Yeah, not really impressed here. Ben Rothwell is at least a legit heavyweight. So there's that. He has triple the experience at 38-13, 39 years old now. Like I said,
a lot of losses on Ben Rothwell there.
Yeah, like I said, has not looked the same since coming back from the juice. He kicked Stefan Struve into balls 4 times before getting the knockout in a fight he was losing. Got dropped twice by Ovince St. Preux, a 205er who came up on short notice to fight at 265 one time and never again. But the way Rothwell won that fight was pressure, volume. He lost to Tybura, but Tybura can wrestle and is a legit heavyweight, while I just don't think Felipe Lins is. My pick is Rothwell. My $1 going on this is 0.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Ben Rothwell. The immense UFC caliber opponents that he's faced, I think will play dividends in this fight. He almost beat Marcin Tybura, but Tybura outlasted him in the cardio. And Marcin Tybura is also on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak. So he's looking like the best he's ever looked in his career. Ben Rothwell nearly put him out in that first round. Philippe Lins has looked very lackluster in his UFC career so far. Maybe after winning $1 to $2 million in PFL, you lose that that confidence and that momentum. That's what I thought when I bet Tanner Boser to beat him, because I thought Philippe Lins, he's already won $1 million and he's already done a lot in this sport. But Ben Rothwell has also done a lot in this sport as well.
Right.
Both these guys might be getting their walking papers with a loss. I definitely got Ben, though. I think he can edge out a decision here. With all that UFC experience, he's only losing to some of the best opponents the heavyweight division has to offer. Andrei Arlovsky keeps getting these lackluster decision wins. Blagoy Ivanov is very good at getting 29-28 type of decisions. Marcin Tybura, a really good fighter. he's peaking at this point. Junior Dos Santos, that was 6 years ago when Junior was still a formidable opponent. And Philippe Lins, his PFL career is really like low-level competition, like Aaron said. I don't have to repeat the names. They're not worth repeating.
No.
And Tanner Bozer getting knocked out in round 1. I think Ben could do the same thing or at least win a decision here. So I got Ben Rothwell.
Yeah, and we got -110 both sides at this point.
I'm very surprised at the odds.
Yeah, really, and that makes me wonder if there's some sort of, information about possible injuries in the camp of Rothwell or what's going on there, because otherwise this feels, like it's
-210 it should be for Ben Rothwell.
Yeah, so that always makes me nervous, and like I don't want to win money off Rothwell. I definitely don't want to lose money off Rothwell. Like, that's just kind of where I'm at. Moving on. I hope it's done in the first round, no matter what.
Ben's got
that's the featured prelim for whatever reason. Then we're on to the main card here, 115 division. Amanda Hebus looking to come back from her TKO loss, taking on Angela Hill. Angela Hill overkill 13-9. Salty. But if you see the blue check marks, I know how to read an Angela Hill.
Yeah, you're pretty confident in Angela Hill.
And I picked her to win fights that she's won. I picked her to lose fights she's lost. The only fight I was wrong on was 2017 Ashley Yoder, where she won that.
Wow,
fight.
You picked Yoder. Okay.
Back in 2017, yeah, I did.
My track record 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 3 for Angela Hill.
Yeah, but Angela Hill, she's fought in the who's who of this division.
Shit, I picked Ashley Yoder to beat her too.
Yeah, don't talk shit.
Can't say anything.
Ariane Carnelosi, that win has aged very well since 2019. We saw how she looked in her return. Absolute tank. She put away Hannah Cyphers, which was, impressive just to see her being able to get a few finishes. Luma Lakbume, again, those are all good wins, but the types of fighters she loses to are, not that impressive at points. Randa Marcos put her away by an armbar. Courtney Casey beat her by a split. Yan beat her. Claudia Gadea beat her by a split. Michelle Waterson beat her by a split.
No, she didn't.
It's just
fucking judges are corrupt.
It's just kind of fucking rough because for whatever reason, Angela Hill doesn't get this nod in split decisions. Like, split decisions go the other way. You can look over and over again. So that definitely is something to take into account in this fight. I think this fight's going to be very close. Amanda Hebus, take a look at how well I pick Amanda Hebus fights.
You fade her.
0-3. I am 0-3 in Amanda.
I'll give you my record. I'll be honest right now. Amanda Hebus, I'm 2-1.
Okay, fair enough. I picked her.
I picked Marina Rodriguez to beat her, so that was good plus money.
I did pick Marina Rodriguez to beat her. I forgot to put it into my Tapology, okay. So that's why.
What they all say, but okay.
Well, you can see it. I only picked 3 fights. I didn't pick it, and I'm a huge Marina Rodriguez fan.
Yeah.
I'll send you the tape when I used to do these breakdowns with that.
No, I believe you. I honestly forget too sometimes. It's fucking.
But yeah,
we have lives too.
Amanda Hebus, she has 2 losses, both by TKO in her career. One to Polyana Viana back in Jungle Fights in 2015. Then she went on quite a run, but her run was against Emily Whitmire, who's not good. Mackenzie Dern, who was coming off a pregnancy 3 months prior. And that was the time to beat Mackenzie Dern and face her. I wonder if they face each other again, how that would look. Randa Marcos, which I'm not a Randa Marcos fan. Paige Van Zandt, max name value with minimum amount of difficulty. So I do think Angela Hill is the toughest matchup of her UFC career. Besides, Marina Rodriguez is tougher, but I think this is the next toughest here.
Marina Rodriguez is tougher.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know about that.
Then Angela Hill?
Marina Rodriguez is like 2-2 in the UFC.
And what is Angela Hill, like 6-8?
Yeah, but she's fought the best and a lot of controversial decisions if you really dig into her record.
Okay, well, either way, not laughable opinion to say Marina Rodriguez is superior.
And she started 1-0 in the UFC. I'm pretty sure. Like she had no former experience at all.
No, but yeah, either way, I think that Amanda Ribas has to really look to get this fight to the ground. If she keeps this fight on the feet, I think Angela Hill has her way, and it gets wider and wider as the fight goes. So for me, I'm just not sure. Amanda, last time out, her mistake was that she started to trust her stand-up too much. She's fighting out of American Top Team here. Gotta think her coaches get her head on straight and get her to implement the takedowns, implement her grappling, cage control. And she does have good stand-up, but it has to be mixed in with her full MMA game here. Angela Hill doesn't have a lot of luck in split decisions. If this goes to a split decision, I think Amanda Ribas, with the hype and the marketing and everything, gets the nod anyways. So I'll take Amanda Ribas here. This is not one of my more confident picks. Originally, I saw this, and I was like, ooh, Amanda Ribas all day. But the more I look at how they both looked over the last few performances, Angela Hill has faced a way better competition, but Amanda Ribas has some good competition, particularly outside the UFC. Inside the UFC, it's been pretty weak. So I'm going to take Amanda Ribas, but I think this could be a split decision. I'm not betting it heavy. Yeah, Amanda Ribas here for me, though. Close decision.
Yeah, Stephen Del Pell is right. Angela Hill is 8-9 in the UFC overall. That's after two stints. She had a break in between. She fought in Invicta and captured a championship there. But at the same time, she jumped into the deep end right away. She never got an easy fight in her entire career. Amanda Ribas, like Adam was saying, or Aaron was saying, it's a lot of names that are or they have negative records in the UFC, except for Mackenzie Dern, which, like you said,
3 months off of pregnancy.
Yeah, and she looked. You could tell Mackenzie Dern looked terrible in that fight. Looked bloated, and yeah, didn't look like she belonged. But she's looked incredible since. So Angela Hill, 36. It's a pretty big age differential here. 9-year age difference for Amanda Ribas, only being 27.
Yep.
But Angela Hill has the more elite competition under her belt. She's also 16-0 as a kickboxer before joining the UFC. Michelle Waterson and Claudia Gadelha could have easily went the other way, so she could be on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-fight win streak with two very formidable opponents in Claudia and Michelle. Claudia Gadelha, she definitely beat, but Michelle Waterson, that could have went either way. I watched both of them again, and yeah, Random Marco, like she's an up and down. It's been a roller coaster for Angela Hill, but I think she's finally found her footing. She's very well rounded. I know Ashley Yoder got a really good trip takedown on her, but Amanda Ribas is more of a striker. And if it's going to be on the feet for 15 minutes, I'm going to be taking Angela Hill to outscore and just lay the more output out over the 15 minutes. Hopefully Angela Hill isn't in like a 5-round fight mentality, because she might start falling behind thinking there's another 2 rounds, because Angela Hill has she's headlined before, but her last fight was a 3-round fight. She looked extremely technical. Like that fight could have been stopped. Honestly, Ashley Yoder took a beating. Amanda Ribas, I think it's a false reading on her because of her personality maybe. She's very I don't know, she's got a lot of energy, and she's always smiling and people love her. But when it comes to fighting and when they're both in the cage, I think Angela Hill's experience is going to play dividends. She's got the most fights in the UFC strawweight division, 17. She's got the second most wins, 8. She's got the third most decision wins, 6 decision wins, second most total fight time. She's right up there with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. If you guys want to check out the records,
Yep.
she's number 2 in everything.
So you got Angela Hill by decision.
So I'm going to go Angela Hill, 29-28 decision.
Yep. So you got the plus 150 dog, minus one.
That doesn't make sense.
Minus 180 on the Hebus has a huge hype train behind her, and a lot of people, even though she got knocked out twice against Marina Rodriguez, don't believe that was a legit win for whatever reason.
Okay.
So we got 29 minutes to get
baby Yoda, what up?
We got 29 minutes to get through the last
we can do this. We can do this.
Fights, so we are going to have to speed it up here, Baby Yoda. Good to see you. I forgot what they called you on Mandalorian, but sorry, I'm not a good dork. But
I didn't watch that show.
Yeah, well, we're not a Mandalorian breakdown show. Next fight here, 155. Gregor Gillespie taking on Diego Ferreira. Gregor Gillespie, the gift. I've been pretty good at his fights so far. Except I picked Andrew Holbrook to beat him and Jason Gonzalez. Yikes. That was in 2017 before I really started researching. Gregor Gillespie coming off that loss against Kevin Lee back in November of 2019, where he was kicked into the Shadow Realm. I was at that fight. Absolutely one of the hardest kicks I've ever heard in my life.
That was tough to watch.
Yeah. This is a really interesting fight because Gregor Gillespie has not fought since then. He had a fight against Brad Riddell scheduled for March where there was COVID issue on Brad Riddell's side, not on Gregor Gillespie's side. So now he's rebooked. And frankly, in a tougher fight here, in my opinion, against Diego Ferreira, who is just really, really well-balanced, really good guy. A guy I have a hard time reading. I am 2-3 in his fights. I've only picked against him a few times and been wrong, including against Taisimov, which was, I think, one of his best performances. Then he followed that up with a really impressive performance over Anthony Pettis. The Beneil Dariush fight was as close could get, in my opinion. I do think Dariush won, but Dariush, after the fight, talked about how strong Diego Ferreira is and just said it was the strongest guy Beneil had faced in his career. It was a super close fight. We saw Diego, how difficult he was to take down, to keep down. His stand-up is there. This is a very close fight. We kind of talked about it a little bit early on, and my initial lean was Ferreira, and I'm having trouble getting off of that lean. I think that Ferreira needs to continue to have good takedown defense, which he's shown against guys like Rustam Khabibov and other very good takedown artists. I get that Gregor Gillespie is as world-class as it gets in wrestling, but what happens when it can't get there, I think, for Gregor is a huge question, and I think Ferreira has an advantage everywhere else other than wrestling in this fight. I think he's going to be very confident and hungry coming off the Beneil Dariush win, or Beneil Dariush split loss. But
shouldn't have been a split, but
yeah, but it was, regardless, it was a close fight against, I think, a tougher matchup in Beneil Dariush. I don't think Gregor Gillespie deserves to be the level of favorite he is, and I think this is a live dog in Diego Ferreira. I'll take Diego Ferreira. I think that we're seeing a lot of decisions on this card because I just think that a lot of these fights are close. This one is close, but I think that if Gregor Gillespie is going to have to box and be on his feet for a lot of this fight, I do think Ferreira should be able to mix in a variety of strikes and be able to take a decision.
Yeah, this is it's like a very close fight. It's like it's a tale of two different styles. Diego Ferreira is more of a submission striking athlete, while Gregor's a power puncher, get on the inside and take you down and grind you out for 15 minutes. Gregor Gillespie has some insane stats, but it's a small sample size. He's only got 7 fights in the UFC, but he still has the second shortest average fight time. His fights usually only last 7 minutes. He's got the best control time percentage out of any UFC in UFC lightweight history. Best top position percentage, least bottom position time. I don't expect anybody to try to take Gregor down. Fourth least strikes absorbed because he's always on top.
Yeah, right. He's not getting punched. You
Punching
can't.
the guy in the face right through the canvas, and he's got the fifth best takedown accuracy. He's almost got the fifth most takedowns landed, but because he's only fought 7 times, lightweight division is so freaking stacked. You got to remember we have Habib. What's that guy we broke down the other day? Gleason Tebow. So yeah, these guys have friggin' insane takedowns landed. Gregor Gillespie, I see him controlling at least 10 out of the 15 minutes of this fight. I know Carlos Diego Ferreira comes from a very good camp. Fortis MMA has multiple athletes competing on this card, and they also have Mohammed Usman fighting tonight. So he's in really good hands. But if Beneil Dariush can grind you out for 3 rounds, then Gregor Gillespie is going to be able to do it. And Diego Ferreira is not getting any younger. He's 36 at 155 pounds. He has a lot more wear and tear. Like if he was a vehicle, he'd have close to 400,000 kilometers, while Gregor Gillespie has maybe close to 200,000. So Gillespie, one of the best fishermen in the UFC as well.
But Gillespie's car's been hanging out in the garage for 2 years.
Exactly.
We don't even know if it started.
Hopefully somebody's been polishing it. Hopefully somebody's been, keeping maintenance on it. And I think they have. He was supposed to fight Brad Riddell a few months ago, so he's 100% ready to take this.
20 minutes for 4 more fights. 20 minutes for 4 more fights.
Okay, so I'm going Gregor Gillespie. He's got the shortest amount of average fight time, so you think you would get a decision. I'm going to go unanimous decision, though.
All right. We're going to disagree there.
Unofficially.
Gillespie is a minus 195 favorite. Yikes. No thanks. Dogger pass for me. Plus
Take the over.
Plus 155 on Diego Ferreira.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a pass for sure.
And Gregor, we don't know how Gregor's going to respond to his first loss of his career. There's a lot of unknowns here.
Shattering loss. He's in the, like you said, the ghost realm.
Yeah, he was in the shadow realm. Next fight. Nasty. Dude, this is just 2 terrible heavyweight fights. But look at how well I predict Marcus Rogerio fights. I am 6-2.
Really good.
Marcus fights.
The most unpredictable fighter in the UFC. Somehow you pulled it off.
Yeah, and I'm killing it with them. So
35 years old. I'm 2-2.
35 years old, 6'1", former 205er, now cutting weight to make 266. He's lost by forearm choke in his last fight, where literally Alexander Romanov just put his forearm into his neck and he just wanted to go to sleep. So I guess he did. Maurice Green, I'm 1-1 in Maurice Green fights.
Me too.
So he's 34 years old, 6'7", 82.
Did you pick Maurice Green to beat Greg Hardy?
I did.
Me too, yeah.
And was wrong.
I always fade Greg Hardy. I don't like the guy.
Was wrong there. He did put away John Vellante by modified choke finally in the 3rd round when Vellante was just gassed.
Thank God he got that.
Otherwise, he was going to lose that fight.
Yeah. And I would have owed a lot of people money.
Had a terrible performance against Alexei Oleinik where he let him take him to the ground. Sergio Pavlovich put him away in the 1st round, lost on the Ultimate Fighter by rear naked choke. I mean, what do you want me to say about this fight? Maurice
Green is going to lose.
I think the only option here is to sit and watch and live bet Maurice Green if he makes it out of the 1st round, period. Because Rogerio has 3 minutes of gas. So Rogerio can win the 1st round. The only option is either watch it or live bet Maurice Green as a huge underdog after round 1 if he survives it. Do you have any other thoughts on this? Rogerio de Lima is a minus 200 favorite.
Yeah. I would take this fight to not go the distance. That's probably my most confident bet. Because Marcos Rogerio de Lima has fought in heavyweight and light heavyweight. He's a staple in both divisions.
He has no
Marco
gas at
Sugiura,
heavyweight still. He still has no gas.
he still has no gas, even with that extra weight. Um, he's got the shortest average fight time in UFC light heavyweight division. He averages 3 minutes a fight.
Oh my
In
God.
heavyweight, he averages 5 minutes a fight. Second shortest average fight time in UFC heavyweight division. So yeah, I really don't see this fight going the distance. Maurice Green is actually up there as well. He's got the I thought he's the sixth shortest average fight time. So
Yeah.
Maurice
So
Green
yeah, what are your thoughts? Yeah, what are your
Maurice
thoughts?
Green pulls off opportunist submissions. He obviously could get a submission prop. I had him submission prop against John Vellante. That was like plus 1,600. So I got to throw that out there. That was a huge win.
Yeah.
Marco Tajerio de Lima, definitely the better striker. I think he's coming from the better camp. He's the more experienced athlete. And if Greg Hardy's knocking you out with a power jab, I got Marco Tajerio de Lima kick just winning by a knockout, in my opinion.
Yeah, knockout round one. Okay, Marcus Rogerio minus 200, plus 165, plus 170 on.
And hedge bet Maurice Green by submission, because those are going to be juicy odds.
Or just leave it all alone. I don't want to bet that.
If it's plus 1,600, throw $5 on there.
Yeah, maybe. Plus, we're the plus side here. We're on to the welterweight division, a very legitimate matchup. The number 12
Neil versus
guy.
Neil.
What's up?
Neil versus Neil.
Yeah, Neil versus Neil. Jeff Neal, number 12 welterweight in the world. 4-1 in Jeff Neal fights so far. So I've liked that. I would have picked Stephen Wonderboy, but I did not make the picks apparently. Fighting out Fortis MMA, coming off that loss against Stephen Wonderboy, where the first 4 rounds he was absolutely schooled. Looked confused, looked lost. Wonderboy
he didn't have his cornerman in his corner.
And he also was coming. He was also coming off a very, very rough injury or rough, like almost.
illness. Yeah, he was hospitalized.
Yeah, he was hospitalized, and it was like within 3 months before the fight. Now there's been a lot more time that's come through. Neil Magny is by no means Stephen Thompson with regards to his stand-up ability. Definitely, Neil Magny had an unimpressive performance against Michael Chiesa. Just could not do anything against him. We'll also look and my pick record.
Oh, you're good with Neil too.
I'm not that great. I'm about 8-6. So recently I've been better with Neil, but 8-6 overall with my Neil Magny picks. As you said, coming off that loss to Chiesa, before that was on a 3-fight win streak over Jing.
He didn't look himself. He really didn't look himself.
Yeah, Jing Lee looked really good. Anthony Rocco Martin and Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler used his wrestling, looked very good.
Came in short notice, Lawler.
Yeah, and I think he needs to take a similar game plan approach to that with Jeff Neal here. Both guys really not coming off great performances, have a lot to prove, I think. And I just think that with Neil Magny, I think we might be starting to see kind of the beginning of the, slipping for him a little bit, but still only 33 years old. I do think he still has time left here. I do think this is the type of matchup here that he excels at, where he's not going to be the one who initiates the grappling as opposed to his opponent. His opponent really is just a straight boxer. And I do think that Magny can use his length at times and then use the clinch work and groundwork at times. I think he makes this kind of grindy, kind of grimy. I like Neil Magny in this spot. I just think that Neil really looked lost in there at times. Again, the 5th round, once Wonderboy got tired, he was able to start landing a little bit, but Neil Magny's not going to get tired. And Neil Magny, I think, is going to implement a lot of wrestling and takedowns in this, and I think it's going to frustrate Neil. It's going to stagnate Neil, and Neil's going to be kind of frozen again a little bit. And I just think for Neil, it's KO or bust. And I don't think
you're very
I think
you're misleading here, saying Neil KO or bust. They're both Neil here.
Neil Magny is or Neil Magny is to lose is KO or bust, I should say. Okay. So Jeff Neal is clearly the KO or bust here. In my opinion, I think Jeff Neal could win a decision as well. He's shown to win a few decisions. So that's definitely a chance. But I think that Magny's going to be able to kind of do what Chiesa did to him, he may do to Neil in this fight. That's how I see it going. So I'm going to take the underdog in Neil Magny for a decision win. But again, another close one.
Yeah, Jeff Neal could definitely pull this off as well if it goes all 15 minutes. Neil Magny, both of them really looked lackluster in their previous fights. Maybe it was a mentality thing. I know Neil Magny had to go to Abu Dhabi, and he was complaining the entire time about being quarantined. And Jeff Neal faced one of the hardest puzzles to solve in the welterweight division in Stephen Thompson, and he also didn't have his head trainer in his corner. So and he was hospitalized, like you said, a few months prior. Neil Magny is so underrated, man. He's always counted out. He's an underdog again here.
Yep.
He's got the
big
most
underdog too.
Pardon?
Big underdog too.
Well, he was even a bigger underdog. Apparently, he was plus 210 to open, and I believe he's plus 190 now.
Yep.
Yeah, so money is coming in on Neil Magny. He's tied for he's got the second most fights in UFC welterweight history, 24. Most wins currently in welterweight division, 17. Most decision wins, 11. He's got the most total fight time, fourth most control time, most significant strikes landed, and most strikes landed. He's got stats for days.
Fighting on Team Elevation, 80-inch reach versus a 75-inch reach.
I'd be more comfortable betting him at a 5-round fight, but even within 15 minutes, he should show, even if he shows half himself that he showed in the Michael Chiesa fight, he should be able to edge this out. I'm not counting Jeff Neal out at all, though. Neil Magny has his lapses. Yep. He's been knocked out before. Lorenz Larkin, I know, knocked him out. So Jeff Neal, his stats were incredible. Before the Stephen Thompson fight, he had like most strikes landed per minute, best striking differential, and now he's at the bottom of the list because of Stephen Thompson. So Stephen Thompson really sent him down the rankings.
But one thing we've seen how a lot of guys have rebounded from Stephen Thompson wins. Vicente Luque, look at how he's done.
Yeah.
Jeff Neal could have learned a lot from that, but I also think Neil Magny learned a lot. We look through Neil Magny's career, and there's not a lot of times you can see two straight, like, terrible, bad game plan performances.
No, and he tends to lose by submission, and Jeff Neal's not a submission artist.
No,
but I like the over in this fight if I were to bet it.
That's fair. I just feel there's so much more thinking that's going to be on Jeff Neal's side than Neil Magny's side. And
Neil Magny by decision must be decent if Neil Magny's the underdog.
Yeah, plus 190.
Let me double check the
or Neil Magny is now plus 165. The money continues to come in on Neil Magny here. Minus 190.
I understand that.
Minus 190 for Jeff Neal now. 5-inch
I'm just going to double check the decision prop here.
Yeah, 5-inch reach. I like Neil Magny for the upset here. And we got 11 minutes, and then I have to go right into another podcast. So
plus 265, so almost 3-1 money. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Next fight is the co-main event of the evening. You can go to every other MMA media outlet to talk about Diego Sanchez and his recent stuff. I highly recommend everybody gives a listen to Anthony Smith's interview with
different
Diego
strokes for different folks, guys.
Yeah. But definitely suggest checking that out. But down Cerrone, Alex Morono getting his second straight kind of legend coming off that loss to Anthony Pettis. I am 6-2 picking Alex Morono fights. And interestingly enough, I picked him every single time I picked. So that's weird. Fighting out Fortis as well as Gracie Barra. Woodlands coming off a decision loss to Anthony Pettis, where Pettis did kind of work him, and Morono refused to go to his wrestling. Really, the only time we've seen Morono go to his wrestling is the Reese McKee fight, where that was kind of a close fight anyways, and Reese McKee has only looked good in that fight, frankly. The Great White, he's got wins over Keenan Song in a fight of the night. Max Griffin, very good wins there, as well as Zach Otto. He got a finish in, so that's good. A loss to Chaos Williams very quickly. Anthony Pettis, definitely leaves his chin out there at points to get hit. Down Cerrone, 36-15 now. We know Cowboy well. I'm going to focus particularly on his recent performances, 38 years old. You can see how many I've been wrong on Donald a lot, 12-12 in my picks on him overall. So there's definitely that to point out. Coming off a win, or coming off four straight losses in the UFC, and then the no contest against Nico Price, which I personally thought he lost that as well. Has an armbar in overtime over Rafael Dos Anjos in sub underground, so that's good. Yeah, it's been since May of 2019 when he had his wins over Ally Quinta, and then before that, Alexander Hernandez looked really good against Mike Perry, but he's lost to Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor, and Anthony Pettis. So
the who's who.
Yeah, the who's who, and then had a tough fight with Nico Price. I rate all of those guys miles ahead of Alex Morono. We got 8 minutes left here. I'm going to keep this short. I don't love the price on Cowboy Cerrone, but I do think that he just is better, uses his wrestling here, and gets the win. I would like to say a finish, but I'll say decision for Donald Cerrone.
Yeah, this is a late notice replacement. Alex Morono replacing Diego Sanchez. Cerrone was a -600 favorite versus Diego Sanchez. He's dropped to a -175, I believe, against Alex Morono in that range. Alex Morono, third guy on this card, fighting out of Fortis MMA. We have Carlos Diego Ferreira, Jeff Neal, and Alex Morono, and Muhammad Usman tonight. So Saif Sayoud has his hands full on Saturday.
It's a lot.
Cerrone,
and that's not, yeah, and usually when that's happened, I mean, the last time we can really see that level of activity out of a gym was City Kickboxing.
And they all lost. Or Kai won. Kai Car France
won. It was 1-3.
Yeah. So yeah, and I remember Fortis MMA, they were heavy loaded on a card before, and majority of them lost. So it happens. They're on a hot streak. Donald Cerrone, his back's against the wall here. He needs a win. Coincidentally enough, Nico Price has 2 of his fights overturned because of marijuana to both these guys. So that's a little fun fact.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Nico
Price really has to lay off the marijuana during competition or stick
not anymore. Not with what Florida and other so hopefully that's that's
CBD is totally allowed, and THC is starting to be more acceptable. Donald Cerrone, I think he could head kick Alex Morono to a knockout in round 2 or 3. Anthony Pettis nearly knocked out Alex Morono in round 3. Morono is going to come out like a bat out of hell, probably win the first round. So this is a great live betting option, possibly. Cerrone, I got him winning 29-28 or possibly a submission or a knockout.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm being kind of biased because I'm one of the biggest Donald Cerrone fans too.
There's a lot of Cerrone fans. It's hard to imagine him going out of his UFC career losing to Alex Morono. Kind of like
he sounds very hungry in all his interviews as well.
Yeah, so. -190 for Cerrone, +165 on Morono. So
I'll take it.
It's a better fight than Diego versus Donald, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I already had Donald in so many parlays, so it's just going to be a push now.
And now the main event of the evening being fought at 125 between Michelle Waterson and Marina Rodriguez. Michelle Waterson, 18-8, coming into this fight, 35 years old, 5'3", 62-inch reach, fighting out Jackson Winklejohn. She's never fought at 125. But essentially they're just not cutting weight for this one. 5-2 I am in Michelle Waterson fights. So not too bad. She's coming off that win over Angela Hill. It was a split decision. Could have definitely went either way. But I do think that there are some encouraging signs if you're looking to bet the Michelle Waterson side from that fight. She did use the takedowns when she needed to, and clearly was very well aware of it being a 5-round fight and what she needed to do to win a 5-round fight. So I do think, again, this is a 5-round fight. Marina Rodriguez sometimes a little bit stagnant on the feet, kind of waits, has her takedown issues. When she's on the bottom, that's how you beat her. Randa Marcos. You'd see these other fights where she was killing Randa Marcos, and like that she should have won that fight, but she didn't do enough and got put into position she didn't want.
It was a draw, I believe.
Yeah, but she should have won that fight. I'm saying that Randa Marcos. It was.
She looks like a fish out of water when she's on the ground.
Yeah, but Carla Esparza, a much better wrestler than Michelle Waterson. But Michelle Waterson's grappling game and wrestling game overall is very underrated. She's much more than just a stand-up fighter here.
And the 5 rounds.
And it's 5 rounds, exactly. This is and they're both going to be at full strength here. I do think if either fighter is cutting weight, it's Marina because she's
going to be 10 pounds heavier, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's a brick house and she hits hard. I think she's 34 years old, but still.
And Michelle's very elusive.
Yeah, looking very good. Is a very good, fighter. Has wins over Tisha Torres. Has that win over Amanda Ribas. Has that split decision loss to Carla Esparza.
That was Marina's fight.
But allowed Carla to get into wrestling.
Ground control.
And again, has a draw against Randa Marcos. 2 fights where she should have had no issues. Again, I feel in this fight she should have no issues on the feet. She has the advantage. She has the power. The overall technique, I think, is on her side. It's just if Waterson can grind out 3 rounds out of 5.
Yeah. And I think she's the better striker out of a lot of these women that she's fought.
Yeah, and I got to imagine that Marina has only been working on takedown defense over and over and over again in every one of her camps. So eventually maybe we start to see the dividends from that. I'm a huge Marina Rodriguez fan. I will say that right here.
But you picked Amanda Ribas to beat her.
Yeah, and the extra 10 pounds that she has here, I think, are going to be more of a benefit to her than Michelle. I believe Michelle's the one taking this fight on short, or are they both taking this fight on? They're both taking this fight on short notice. I do like Marina in this fight, but I completely see a route, especially in 5 rounds from Michelle, to eke out a decision. But I'm going to take Marina. I don't know if she gets a finish or not. I'm going to lean towards yes. I just think that she really is going to hit hard and over 5 rounds, carries that power at least through the first 3 rounds to finish, if not further. We haven't seen her in 5 rounds, so I don't know. But I like Marina either way, and I like her as a parlay piece.
Okay. I have a completely different outlook. I think Michelle can win on the feet and on the ground. Even on the feet, she's the more technical fighter. She's a great point fighter. She reminds me of Sergio Pettis, 125 pounds. I don't see either of these girls getting knocked out. I don't think Michelle Waterson has ever been knocked out. She's very elusive. She has like a Lyoto Machida style. Her kicks come like milliseconds. You won't even know what's coming. It's friggin' fast, man. Her combinations are extremely fast. Marina Rodriguez is coming in short notice again. She came in short notice against Amanda Ribas and spoiled the party there. I think Amanda Ribas underestimated her a little bit. And Michelle Waterson was actually supposed to fight Amanda Ribas that night. So this is good matchmaking. Michelle's facing the winner of those 2. It's at a weight class Michelle has never fought at. But I think she's just going to be extremely faster, more technical. She has that 5-round experience. And if this is going all 25 minutes, I can see Michelle pulling off a 48-47 type of decision.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't believe the odds. The odds are crazy.
It's like I made the odds because I'm the biggest Marina Rodriguez fan in the world.
Why'd you pick against her against Amanda Ribas then?
Because I sometimes get nervous when my favorite fighters. I felt a little bit. I just get nervous. Sometimes I just get in my own head. But yeah, minus 200 for Marina Rodriguez.
That's insane.
It's rough. It's rough. Plus 175 on Waterson.
Wait, what's Marina's best win? Amanda Ribas?
Yeah, Amanda Ribas. We're really rating that very highly. Tisha Torres as well.
Rate that highly.
Tisha Torres is a very similar level.
Okay, yeah, Tisha's a good one.
And very similar opponent to Michelle Waterson with her style and her approach. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, I just think I do like Marina. This price gets to the point where it's a little tougher, but
I'm probably going to go Michelle by decision.
Yeah, I'm going to take Marina, and maybe I'll even take a little gamble on the Marina KO prop.
No, Michelle's never been knocked out.
Hey, you know what? I take my
first
shots.
for everything.
There's a first for everything. Shoot or shoot. I'm not sure how many fighters Michelle has faced who hit as hard as Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez is really one of the hardest hitters in the lighter weight women divisions, and she never
I'll agree with that.
and she doesn't put all her effort into her shots. That's the part that's really kind of scary about her. And the extra 10 pounds, I just wonder if Michelle's going to be able to get enough of the respect of Marina to be able to implement her game. But on a card like this, maybe I'm a little bit thirsty to find my.
Michelle's gonna stick and move, buddy. She's gonna stick and move, switch kick. She's gonna do a switch kick here and there. She's gonna outscore her. And I got Michelle Waterson karate hottie. Let's go.
Yeah, and I'll take Marina Rodriguez.
And then we'll see who wins next week.
Who Marina Rodriguez is my Brazilian hottie, so all good. Maybe I'm getting a little bit thirsty. I had the 2 KO props I took last week in Giga and Jerry Prosazic.
Round 1 and round 2. You got both of them.
I got both of them. I also got the round 2 parlay or prop on Jerry, so thank you very much. But we'll see. For Aaron, the dog, for Brandon of MMA Wagers, we're at a nice tidy 90 minutes, and enjoy the fights tonight. Enjoy the PFL tonight.
Baby.
Enjoy the Bellator tomorrow. Check out our breakdowns for those. And then, obviously, we'll be back next week with, I don't know if there's an LFA or PFL or whatever fights there are. We'll have breakdowns.
I'll tell you right now, Aaron. Just 1 sec. Look, we got a Titan FC, but we're not going to be doing odds for that. No. There's an LFA 107, and there's a UFC pay-per-view Oliveira versus Chandler. So we'll be doing LFA and UFC next week.
So it's a nice light week, only 2 events.
I like it.
That will be nice, but we'll be back next Wednesday with the LFA breakdown around 3:30, and then next Thursday, probably around 3:30 with our UFC breakdown. I'm thinking that this is going to be the new time for our show. We had a lot of viewers today, had a lot of comments, and gets it out of the way so we can have a little bit of our evening. So for Aaron, the dog, for Brandon of MMA Wagers, cash those bets and keep taking care of each other out there. We appreciate all of you out there, including my girl, Bunny. Peace.